One, yeah.
Well, welcome to the Wealth of Health Show with Stephanie and Roger. If you haven't had an opportunity to get your drinks, your snacks, and your pens and paper so that you can take notes, take a moment and grab that, because you don't want to miss the important information that we will be sharing with you on how you can be wealthy and healthy. If you're currently watching us on Facebook, if you can take a moment and click share on your page so that your friends and family can get the information that we'll be sharing as well. My apologies. If you have any questions or comments, you may also dial into the conference line, which is 608-906-0003. Again, it's 608-906-0003, and you can hit *5 if you have a question, a comment, or if you'd like to give a testimony. We are happy to have you here joining us. Thank you for taking the time out. And today's show, we will be talking about allergies. Many of us have them. I have terrible allergies, so our show today, we will be talking about allergies and how you can overcome your allergies the healthy way. Mr. Hill, are you available and ready?
I absolutely am.
Okay.
We started the show Wealth of Health because there's a definite connection between wealth and health. I mean, actually, the greatest part of my wealth is my health. You want to be able to give people those different alternatives that help them be so healthy that they can actually increase their wealth. And we're delighted to talk to you today about that. We got a special guest speaker today. His name is Ben Brodesky, and he is going to be talking initially about how we square science with the reality of what really works. That's my kind of layman's way of putting it. Jim's written a number of books that are available on the internet on various different substances. He's been at this for probably more than 2 decades. Is very knowledgeable. So Jim, are you with me?
Can you hear me okay, Roger?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
All right, well, strap on your seatbelts. I'm going to get a lot of stuff really fast. I'm going to try to keep this to 10 minutes, Roger, so 10 minutes. Just tell me to stop talking, because I'll go on and on. Here's what I'd like everybody to get out of this, a couple of things. Number one, you've probably heard many times in the media, from your doctors and people, oh, this food is good for you, that food is bad for you. You should eat this, you should avoid that. I'm going to give you the answer to know how to make sense of all of those statements. And, it's a different kind of fake news. You hear somebody in authority say, oh, everybody should eat this diet, everybody should eat that diet. I don't know if people are as familiar with the phrase that I'm about to say as I am, but there's a phrase called clickbait, where you're online and somebody makes a title to their article and it just makes you so curious that you've got to see it, okay? And I normally don't fall victim to it, but it did a couple of months ago. And the article or the title of the video was "The Best Diet for Human Beings." And I was compelled. I had to listen to it, okay? And it was a little bit of a deceptive title, but I ended up watching it anyways, and I was very glad I did, because the punchline was, that's the wrong question. It's not what is the best diet for human beings. The proper question is, what's the best and most optimal thing for me to eat right now? Because every day is different, every person is different, and your needs are different. If you're diabetic, probably you're going to need to learn how to avoid carbohydrates and sugars. But if you're going to go run a marathon,
all recording is on.
You better do some carbohydrate loading, because you're going to run out of gas at 20-mile mark, and you're not going to be able to finish, and you're certainly not going to be competitive. So the first take-home thing I'd like people to understand is food, generally, there's exceptions, but generally, food is not good or bad. Food is what it is. And you can be wiser than somebody who has a PhD in nutrition. And I mean that sincerely. If you simply look at your diet and you go, what's going on with me right now? What have I been eating a lot of? I probably don't need more of that. I probably should eat something that I've never eaten, because that's the only way I'm ever going to address a deficiency. And that's why supplements are available in the marketplace, because there are thousands of things that you could eat, herbs and various plants and all kinds of different things, and you're probably not getting those things in your diet. Now, the core of what I want to talk about will help you answer people's questions in a scientific way. And I personally just really hate it when people say, oh, has that been scientifically proven? Or, we developed this product scientifically. Okay? It's almost like science is the 21st century's religion. Everybody talks about it, but nobody really knows what it's all about. As soon as you say the word science, people want to believe it. Well, it's my personal opinion, you can share it or not, that the Western medical industry does not permit science to be done. And none of the studies that you ever read in a medical journal, or you hear about on TV, or your doctor may want to talk to you about, or whatever, none of those studies are scientific studies. They're all statistical probability studies. And it's an enormous difference. And once you just become aware of these facts, then you'll realize why one day you hear, oh, eggs are bad for you. Then, a couple of months later, there'll be another study, oh, no, eggs are good for you. Well, you've got a different group of people in the study, and they're not actually conducting science. They're conducting statistics. And if the people in that study have been eating tons of eggs, and now you give them more, that's probably not going to help balance them out. But if they haven't been eating eggs for a long time, now you finally give them some, that may improve their situation. And so what happens with the medical establishment is they will say something like, oh, yeah, so-and-so got cured from their ailment because they did this, that, and the other thing. But that's not scientific. That's an anecdotal story. And actually, nothing could be further from the truth. Science is done on observation. And when you tell me an anecdote, that's how you tell your story. Okay? This is what I observed, and you tell an anecdote about it. Well, people's testimonials are actually the closest thing to science that we have. But the way everybody talks about science has been messed up, because the studies that are done with large groups of people are statistical probability studies. Now, if you took something and you want to talk about allergies, so I'll say something like peanuts. You might do a study with peanuts. There's a lot of nutrients in peanuts, but frankly, I eat peanuts quite often. I look at it. I'm a blood type A, and it's generally considered to be beneficial for people who are blood type A. But what if you have a horrible allergy to peanuts? And just, a molecule floating around in the air could set you off into an anaphylactic reaction and darn near kill you. Okay? Well, is a peanut good or bad? Well, it depends on the person. Now, you might do a study, and you might get 50,000 people, and maybe 99% of them think peanuts are just spectacular and wonderful. But obviously, they're not good for that specific person. Okay? Now, other foods like tomatoes and anything in the nightshade family, eggplant, peppers, potatoes, are notorious for causing joint problems in many, many people. Okay? Something like dairy. Many people will struggle with lactose intolerance, but yet you'll read about the wonderful benefits of colostrum or properly made yogurt. I know you guys have all talked a lot about blood sugar management and things like that. What if you were diabetic and you were taking insulin and you accidentally took too much and suddenly your blood sugar is crashing and you're not ready to go into a coma? At that moment in time, sugar is a lifesaver. You're going to pass out, and who knows what may happen if your blood sugar gets too low. And so, generally, everybody, nowadays kind of realizes that sugar has a really, really bad side because we eat too much of it. But if sugar is what you need, then you better go and get some. And so, what I would like to leave with is an understanding of the studies that are out there are not science. They do not prove that something always works. That's not how health is. And it amazes me that people know their car better and they treat their car better than they treat their body. You know that, if your car isn't starting, it's not always because it's out of gas. It might be because you need a new spark plug. It might be because the connection to the battery has come disconnected or there's a problem with the starter. And what people don't seem to realize, and not so much people, I think people do, but the media and the establishment and the authority figures don't want you to pay attention to the fact that everybody's different, and what you need on a daily basis is unique to you. And I'll do one last thing, Rob, and then if you want to come in and ask some questions, when I'm done with this, you could. A lot of times people will get questions. What should I tell people about a certain product? How should I introduce it to them? And if anybody's ever watched The Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White, where you can buy a dollar, I'd like to encourage people to switch out a couple of cautions. Okay? Don't suppose that you know what somebody else should do. Instead of saying should, you could try this product for a month, do the scientific experiment of adding it into your diet and into your system, observe what happens, and then report back a month later and tell me what your scientific experiment told you. Now, when people, go to their doctor and they take a medication and they come back a month later and they go, hey, doc, I got all these side effects from this drug. The doctor, no, it can't be that, But when you take a nutritional supplement, if it doesn't work, give it a fair trial. Maybe out of the millions of things that you might need, maybe that's not the thing. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that it might not be what you need the most. Now, the flip side to that is you're probably missing thousands of things. I'll give you 3 questions. Hey, Roger, let me get you on the line and have fun with you. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. We didn't rehearse this, so I apologize for catching you off guard here. But, let me have some fun with you. I'm going to ask you 3 questions that are absolutely impossible to answer. Okay? The only answer is, I don't know. Okay? So put on your humble pie hat, and the answer to all 3 questions is, I don't know. Okay, first question, how many chemicals do you think there are in the human body?
Got no idea. I don't know.
That's the correct answer. Okay? How many of those nutrients do you think, if you had to divide that number that you don't know, how many of those nutrients in the body can be made by the body, and how many do you have to get from food because your body cannot make them?
I don't know. I know the body can't make them all.
Okay. Those questions are unknowable. Okay? Now, of those two unknowable numbers, how many nutrients are in what you've had for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the past couple of weeks?
Certainly not all of them. But
The correct answer is you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? And so Roger's a damn smart guy. Okay? But these are things that are not knowable. And once you accept the fact that you don't know, there's no way to know. No, I don't know. You don't know. Your doctor doesn't know. People at Harvard Medical School and people on medical journals, they don't know your situation. The only reasonable course of action is to do the science. Try something different. Observe what the results are. If you get a good result, observe that. Maybe you stop taking the product, you see your problem comes back, and then you repeat the experiment. And if somebody says, has it been scientifically proven, you can say, well, I'm in the middle of doing the experiment. And if you just accept that the only way to know what's right for you is to try and observe and see, and when you're doing that, you're actually behaving like a scientist, then you can listen to all these talking heads giving you all kinds of fake, nutritional news, and just say, well, none of that really matters because that's not happening to me. And you do what seems to make sense for you. You try it, you observe. If it works, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, give it for a try. Right? Just because it works for your neighbor doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and vice versa. So, Roger, I don't know what, we can tie this in with allergies and go much further with it, but the whole point is everybody's different. And so if someone has an allergy, you might be able to eat that food, with no problem whatsoever. And so what happens a lot of times is people have, what do you want to call it, sensitivities and intolerance. People talk about lactose intolerance, or an out and out full-blown, anaphylactic shock. You got hives and you're swelling up and can't breathe. Peanut allergy. Of course they're real, but they're unique to each and every person. And so, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and one man's food is another man's poison. And I'll leave it that way.
All right, thank you. Stay with us as long as you can. I know you're going to have to go in a little bit. The reason that I wanted, and I thought that this was particularly useful as we talk about allergies, is that allergies are so variable. I'm the only person in my family, no brothers, no sisters, or parents, either one of my parents, are allergic to peanuts. I am. Peanuts get me arthritis. I've got a rash of food allergies. Literally, peaches, pears, peanuts, and I didn't have them when I was like in grade school. As I got older, I acquired them. So it's a really odd mechanism about allergies. And what we noticed is that all of our products, the oils, the UltraMito products, olive oil-based products, non-perform, they're great allergies. Okay? If you got allergies, you need to be on your side. So we're going to talk through those, and we're going to talk through about the allergic mechanism. You get an allergy, Allergies an allergic reaction is an immune response. If your immune system reacting to something that you don't think is quite right, it's not quite compatible with you for whatever reason. Because, as Jim was pointing out to you, there's so much diversity in terms of our genetics, in terms of our environment, and so forth, that some people are going to have a immune system to overreact to some things, and others, the same thing won't bother another person. It's just so odd. So, how do you deal with that? Well, your medical profession will give you a strategy where they say, expose yourself to more and more of it and you'll get used to it. So they'll give you the chemical that's probably produced by your system. It's called a histamine. That's why you heard about antihistamine. It is to counter that chemical that your body produces that's in response to the allergy. Okay? So it's kind of like trying to tamp down something your body is automatically doing. But we're going to talk about in a second how all of our products do it in a much more natural way. That can come with allergies. And you have people with awful allergies that they get on mind, they get on performance, they get on the oil and whatnot. And they just handle allergies in such a comfortable way. It's amazing. We met a young lady in Philadelphia last year. She had to come home from work. Her allergy was so bad. Greg O'Rourke, another one. I think that's his mom on the line right now. Greg. Every year. Until he got on these products, it was with us. And then someone pointed out to him one day, hey, how you allergy? And it was like, what else? He didn't have it. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that if we talk about the individual products, just how useful they've been as pertains to dealing with allergies in a different way, but far more effective way than most of us have been accustomed to. Before I launch into that, Stephanie, how close are we to taking the break?
We're doing fine right now.
You don't want to start that now, or you want to do it on the other side?
No, we're doing fine right now. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's how this is working. Our scientists classified this clinical PhD you've been hearing about. They made an amazing discovery that applies to allergies. They discovered that if you increase the amount of energy that you dump for all of a sudden all kinds of immune system functions and whatnot can happen that weren't capable of happening before because you just didn't have the energy to do it. The other part of this that is used is helping your body have a healthy inflammatory response. When your body is inflamed, it's suddenly it needs to respond to a particular condition. Something's going on. It's going to bring the resources to that area. However, when that goes too long, it becomes chronic, it then becomes a problem in and of itself. It's every single condition that's significant to your health in every disease service has an inflammatory component. And allergies are no different. Allergies are the definition of the inflammatory response. That's what histamine is. Histamine that's being produced in cellular antigen 4 is part of that inflammatory response. And it can just, like I say, it can just, when KC season comes all year round, and some people catch it, it will absolutely make your life miserable. Okay? So what our products are doing is, it is going in a very natural way, addressing the inflammation, giving your body the nutritional support that it needs to manage the inflammation better, and as a result, miraculously, these allergies go with it. So you can do it without antihistamine, you can have some very long-term results in a more natural way. And by the way, that applies to your pets as well. Okay, if you take the oil, let's talk about for a moment about our olive oil products. You see them over on the site, when I find the doctor, they were doing it on their own time, so they release that product. They take it every day to give it to their kids, and so forth like that, and they take it every day. There's 4 phenols in olive oil. One of them is amazing for olive oil. Their proprietary delivery method, XDS technology, that's the exponential delivery system. That stuff is like an amazing mailman that knows what is left, each one of these you can live with it. Then take the right inside the cell, get to exactly where it needs to go, and have the maximum effect. So, all amazing stuff. And by the way, we got 4 of these that you may know. There's one called Allergy, actually. There's one called Mobility, there's one called Life, there's one called Recovery. Here's what I found. Every single one of them will address allergy. All of them. You probably have that one that is tuned for allergies more so people can recognize that that's what it's for. Okay, so that's people on market standpoint. Any one of those oils is really great for your allergies. Okay? And you take this stuff and wow, amazing things happen. But it's just not with the oil. It's also true of minor performance. We just discovered so many things these things do because they took such a fundamental approach to it. We were just talking about minor performance, how what great results people like the parade who's on the line with us now had with the blood sugar regulation. It's got what's called adaptive advantage. Well, it helps the body regulate, gives the body the nutritional support it needs to regulate itself better, right? Okay? Well, Greg was taking minor performance. Yes, his vision got better. Yes, he had more energy. But also trying to describe how people are because it helps him manage the inflammatory response better. This is again a fundamental that runs through all products. Okay. So what we're gonna do, Coach, we want to take a break in 2 minutes. When we come back on the other side of this break, for those of you who are called in with us, they're with us for a few minutes, so not commercial or whatnot, to keep you back. We're gonna come back and go deeper into it. We're gonna take some testimonials, some books and allergies, and we're going to take your questions and whatnot as well. Okay. So, Stephanie, back to you.
All right, thank you. Those of you that are watching us on Facebook, we're going to take a break, and while we're on break, you'll hear silence because we're not allowed to play music. But those of you that are watching us on PowerPlayRadioNetwork.com, you'll hear the music while we're on break. So take this moment and go ahead and get your refreshments, freshen up your drink and everything. Text a couple of people, share this with a couple of people, and we'll be back from break shortly.
You want to say there?
Hey, Roger, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You got to sign off.
Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.
All right.
One, you have.
Well, welcome back to the Wealth of Health Show with Stephanie and Roger. Hope you had an opportunity to freshen up your drinks and your snacks, and text a couple of people and get a couple of people watching this information that we're sharing about allergies today. I know many of us have allergies. Mine have been really bothering me since we've had all this rain. So if you see me kind of touching my face, it's because my face is itching from my allergies. But anyway, it's top of the hour. It is, of course, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 6 p.m. on the West Coast. So we just want to acknowledge that because we have people listening from all over. And again, today's show, we're showing you how to be wealthy and healthy, but we're talking about allergies and teaching you how to help overcome your allergies. So, Mr. Hill, I'm going to turn it back over to you so we can continue where we left off.
Right. What we were talking about before the break was that allergy has an inflammatory component. All the products that population has are formulated to address or help people manage their inflammatory response better. And as a result, people are getting great results from their allergies. We were talking about this as well and whatnot, the mobility, allergy, life, and recovery. Any of those products are absolutely great for allergy, as well as mind and performance on the other side. And for those people like Silver is calling today, they're anxious, okay? Sometimes very skin conditions are triggered by allergies. We have Rejuvenate, phenomenal for that. So, Stephanie, you're an extreme case as it pertains to allergies. So if you would, share with us what your allergy situation was prior to getting on the product, which specific product you used, what difference it made, okay? And Donna, let us know if you can hear her well enough. Okay?
Okay, well, I had real bad allergies. Well, I still have allergies, but my allergies were so bad that least little thing, I would break out. I broke out multiple times a day. Some people just break out every now and then, but I broke out multiple times a day. And I was going to an allergist at first, and then I had to start going to a dermatologist because my allergies were so bad. But they had me on Singulair. They had me on Nasonex nasal spray. They had me on allergy eye drops. I was going 3 times a week getting shots, allergy shots. I would get 2 shots in each arm. And it seemed like I'm leaving out something, but all of this was just for allergies. So when I got introduced to the products, and I was washing dishes one day and I had a breakout. And so my gel was closer to me than I could get to my allergy medicine. So I was like, let me just put this gel on here to see what it may do. And when I put it on, it immediately started taking the itching away. Then my highs started going away. And I was like, wow, okay, here it is. This is working for this as well. So y'all just don't know how happy I was to find something else that to help me with my allergies. And then we had one time that we were out to dinner. And I don't know, Roger, who was it that suggested Papados that time we went? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. We ended up at Papados.
Right, we ended up at Papados, and they wanted to sit outside, right? So that little experience of us sitting outside, I started having a reaction. And so I was given some oils now. And they told me, go in there, get a spoon, put some on there, and just take a big swig and do it real quick. Well, I did it. Not the best taste, but you know what? It took my allergies away pretty instantly. So I was very amazed on that because, think about it. It's an oil, so it gets right in your system, and it gets to working really quick. So it actually worked quicker than when I was taking, a pill form, and all my other things. So I am really grateful for these products because I've had my own little pharmacy because I was on so many different medications from, allergies to, other things. But just my allergies alone, I gave you a list of things that I was on, and this still didn't control it. Like I told you, I was having multiple breakouts a day. So, and sometimes when I would break out, while I'm out, I had to run in and, hurry up and jump in the shower. And And that was a terrible experience too, because I'm allergic to hot water. So when I get in there, you know, it's like I get in there to cool me down, but I've got to go through that with the hot water first, and then after I get out, I'll start the cool down period. But yeah, this has really been great for me, having the Rejuvenate and then also the Allergy oil to help me with my allergies, because it has made a tremendous change in my allergies. Now, the reason why I think we're having them kind of now, because it's been raining so much, and so that's kicking, you know, different things up. And I notice every time I go outside, you know, I feel different and stuff. And so, you know, just from me leaving home, coming to the studio, then after I get here, that's why, you know, you see me touching my face or whatever, because it's starting to itch and stuff. But anyway, like I said, the products have been great. And, you know, if you have allergies, then you owe it to yourself to try it. And they're all natural products, so you owe it to yourself to try it. We do have a money-back guarantee, so it's a win-win situation. Back to you, Roger.
Okay, so your experience with it has to do with Rejuvenate on the skin and the oil.
Yes.
Okay. So I find that so interesting that Loretta Lawson was mine performed. You were the oils and Rejuvenate. This again, that's all I'm going to say, because all of these products are formulated to help your body address and have a natural immune system response. Wow, you get the allergy thing so somewhat as a color. Now, I'll give you my allergy story. I think I've got an allergy that's in addition to apples, peaches, pears, with a long list. And I think very good. There's a friend of mine who's an airline pilot, Mike Jupiter. He would try everything and thought I've got allergy. So much so I thought it was like a conspiracy theory. And then, but yet I'm having all these different situations. So he had a friend of his who was a doctor who happened to be an allergist. Look, I already made the appointment before you go. So go to the doctor, and what they do is they prick your skin with all these different things that are potential allergens to figure out exactly what it is that you're allergic to. And that's how I found out peaches, pears, that all the stuff I used to eat as a child growing up, I'm now allergic to all of them. And as soon as I recognized that, like I used to get my eyes get red. I thought if I had drink apple cider in the fall, you know, when, you know, apples are around, you gotta keep those cans on the side of the road selling cider, my joints would start to swell up. All right? So it's simple. Don't do that. Don't eat the apple cider, don't eat the peanuts, just avoid all that stuff. And that's one way you get around it. Now, I find out that in a bizarre way that I have a mystery allergy. Some of you may have this, so you just can't figure this out. Michael Ned and I were in 2014. We were working in the industry business in Houston. So I'm flying back and forth to Houston, and we'd spend, you know, up to a week at a time in Texas. And I was noticing that when I would be away, my arthritis, like particularly in one hip, would get better. I come back home and get worse. I go back to Texas and get better. So I'm trying to figure out what is there about Texas that's making my allergy. I didn't know it was an allergy at that time. What is it making? What is it about that making my arthritis better? And I don't know if it's got anything to do with allergy. Then finally, after back and forth, month after month, I figured it out. When I'm at home, I eat a lot of pomegranate juice. I love pomegranate juice. I think they put more pomegranate juice in the local place for it just for me. So I hope we'll get bunches of it at the time. They put it on sale. I'm like filling up apartments, okay? So when I travel out of town, I didn't take it with me because I wasn't drinking. And that's what it turned out to be. As soon as I stopped drinking pomegranate juice, that's what it went on.
Wow.
But still, from time to time, you're going to encounter things in your environment that occur dealing with what you're talking about, that everybody else can be exposed to, and it's not bothering them. This is going to bother you. And you'll have these flare-ups from time to time. If you've got the Rejuvenate hand, again, it does the same thing. I put Rejuvenate out of here. Funny thing about inflammation, it seems like spread. You know, I had sprain my back or something, and then things like that inflammation when the guy on my back goes down in one here. Okay, fine, put that rejuvenate on it. Lock it in, put it all around the affected area, not just on the affected area, okay? And keep doing that even after that discomfort goes away, because the body's still pushing off of the head that you couldn't do it because of that inflammation. And it'll get in there and really manage that in a way that the typically prescribed medications just don't seem to be capable of doing. Right? Don't seem to be capable of doing that at all. And we're talking to Evan Elliott earlier today, and he reminded me of this. The more we start to take stuff better, because we're all designed on the same principles, all things to work together. So every time you take an additional product, you get an additional benefit in what might seem to be an unrelated edit that might be completely unrelated. So here's what I want to do now. I know we got a few of you on the line. If you have a question or a testimony about allergies, do stop by so I can see your hand.
Roger, I want to.
You're unmuted, so you can speak up in.
I want to say one other thing, Roger.
You said I'm unmuted?
You are unmuted, yes.
Okay, and the question is?
I'm asking anybody who has a question, a testimony, or anything about allergies.
I mean, I don't personally have one, but I do know, like I said earlier, that Pastor Son would always be bothered with allergies all the time, and just kept cold throughout the year. And because of the oils, he takes recovery in life, and he's not having a problem anymore. It's just absolutely incredible. He's kind of like madly in love with those two products.
I certainly understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It is just, I'm going to say it like this. I personally believe that these scientists have the key to so many elements, that we as humans deal with. And, it would be a travesty for us to not just let people know, at least give them a choice. And I know sometimes it's kind of hard to approach certain people, especially when you know what kind of personality that person has, kind of humbuggish, but, okay financially. And a lot of people are hard to approach, at least in this area. They're hard to approach, they're like untouchable, kind of snobby. I think we just have to find a way to just let them know, hey, look, we've got the answers for a lot of things that are going on with you. Because you just don't really ever know what these products are going to do. Once you take them, you just know everything is all good, but you don't know what it's going to help, And so that's one thing that keeps me so excited about these products. Like, you hear all these different stories from different people. It's like, wow, really? In your mind, it's like you're scratching your head and going, could that be possible? But it is possible because, people are sharing their own stories.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about it. I can't get enough, and the more I hear you talk about it, they're spraying these trees. I know you told us maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that, even if you elaborate on it tonight, that, they count on this 1,200 different species of apples, and I'm sitting here going, really? I thought maybe it was about 10 at the most. But, you just never know until you start researching what's out there, what's available. You don't even know what can be created until you try.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I kind of got off. Oh no, I don't think that's what you're really asking, but I just put that in. That's good commentary.
The first person that causes my attention about these allergies and how the product is taken, we didn't know. Greg Rockman, and Greg's not on the line with us, but his mother is on. Corinne is there. I'm sure she knows about it. Corinne, are you where you can see?
Yes.
Tell us about how allergies work, Corinne, please.
With Greg, his allergies were, as a little kid, he had them so bad. But as he got older, it was like he couldn't even smell certain things. And when spring or the fall came, he would be blowing his nose, he'd be sneezing. So he really was very uncomfortable. But I am glad to hear how Fox Legacy products are helping great. Because he really has had a very difficult time. But even today, if he's in a room or with fumes or something, it'll trigger him. Yeah, one of these two were major products.
Yeah, it was like really like a debilitating for him. The reason is, yeah, all of that at the time, he would have to leave work and go home to Allergy because he couldn't.
Oh, yes. Or even when he was in school, he was teaching in school too. He had to leave. Yeah, because, you know, the nose running, the eyes are running, and you just don't feel right.
Yeah, it's like
I saw him suffer. He suffered a lot. But as a mother, I didn't realize what to do. You know, I should have looked into it deeper myself. But Greg was a researcher. He researched things to try to find out what could help him. So we're very thankful for the Fox Legacy products.
You know, he would tell me that he would keep, and some other people told me that too, there's like a messy preparation that he had and put on himself. It was, you know, kind of uncomfortable to work with. And get my mind performed, and he never had to think that stuff out in the refrigerator.
Yeah, because things would trigger him that wouldn't trigger most people. So his allergies were really like, you know, out of whack. The allergies were yeah, the seasons. The seasons came in and it was even worse.
It's amazing. Anybody else has a question or a comment, you do a star 5, I'll see you on the panel. Corinne, while I got you here, we've been talking about mind and perform, how versatile they are, and in this instance, we're talking about how they also help people with their allergies, because they too address inflammation, which is a major component in allergy. But I'm still marveling at you. You were the first person who let us know how effective mind and perform were for blood sugar regulation.
Oh my goodness. I'm not surprised that there were times when I would say, no, this is, I think this is not working now. You know, I would think that, especially with my children and babies, I felt that, you know, when I go back to the doctor, she's going to, I go, she's going to check me. And I used to get nervous, but I don't get nervous anymore because she said, oh no, you're doing well. I even brought the medicine to show her. I brought the product in to show her what I was taking. But she didn't make too much of it. I think she should have, but she didn't. But then, and then, yeah, well, the performance has helped me in many ways with my legs, or with the scarring I have around my knees, which even when I was taking the product recently, I had a lot of problems with the scarring around my legs, around my knees. But so I started taking 2, and that was the answer. I had to take 2, and I had that weight like that. And I'm 85, so I don't, you know, I see people on the age 2 with me, and they're amazing. I just know the product's amazing, and my God is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, 85 is going strong. You know, we can learn from this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. I got parents on, he had to raise his hand, and I don't know if he's in the gym or where he's working at, but parents, did you have some allergy issues as well at some point? Did you discuss that? I'm on the wrong line. I'm on the right line now. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Did you tell me at one point that you had some allergy issues? Maybe I got my
I thought I did, but yes. I don't know, coming from the Western Indies, once I started eating American food, I really took me a long time to understand American food. So, I have some allergies, but they have gone away now with age. You and I got allergies from eating in the army mess hall. They cook everything in the same oil. So, I don't know about it.
That's true.
I haven't been tested for allergies because I used to leave the mess hall at 10 o'clock. The last meal, run through Arlington Cemetery into the Pentagon in room B240, and I would eat whatever they've been cooking in the same oil all day. So I got allergies, but once I got away from the army, my allergies seemed to go away. But I did have it.
It's really good now that you are on all of our products now, and so you're less likely to ever have to really come back or have any situation that wasn't manageable. We got a lot of that. By the way, I met Derek and we were active when we were in the military in headquarters company, which is where they selected their quote-unquote best and brightest. He was working in the basement of the Pentagon down there over upstairs, and we all ate in the same mess hall. So that was a pretty good experience for us. I'm trying to remember what allergies I had. I did the same once. I just didn't because I didn't learn, but they weren't until later when I went to the allergy test to find out how profound it was to be free of just by not eating that stuff. And now, by being able to use our products, because they'll crop up. I mean, it's not like you're allergic to certain things. You're allergic to stuff you know about or have encountered now. With all the stuff that's in the environment and all the different things that we're coming across now, these kind of things can occur anytime. And then what we have in common is that all that some kind of inflammatory component. So, thank you, Karen. Okay, we're going to take a break in about 8 minutes. So we got a little more we can do here. Stephanie, you still with me?
Yes, I'm here. Let me say one thing. Okay. When you were talking about the unknown allergies, that's me right there. Most of them are unknown. I know I'm allergic to the hot water, and I assume that I'm allergic to almonds sometimes because I have periods of time, and I love almonds, okay? But I do have certain periods of time where it's like I may eat some or have had some, and then next thing you know, my lip may start to swell or whatever. But we have some things that we just really love, and you never know when you're going to have that reaction. But the majority of the things that have caused me to have a reaction, I have no idea because it's not a certain pattern. That's the only thing that I've seen, and it doesn't do that every time I eat those. It's just sometimes. So, that was one of the issues in trying to determine what it is that I'm allergic to, is because I've kept the journals and everything, and I can't say there's one specific thing that actually was triggered, when I kept the journal. It's still a mystery of what all is causing it. Okay, now I know I'm allergic to like nickel and grass and stuff like that, but I'm not out there in the grass, I do know one day we had gone to the hospital, and they were more in the yard out there, and I guess about 30 minutes later I had a reaction. So could have been from them, more in the yard, but mine are, those that I can't just pinpoint. I wish I could, because if I could, then I would, not do those things or try to stay out of that area or not eat certain things. But, we have some of those situations right there with allergies. And when I was getting the shots, actually, when my daughter had to take allergy shots as well. My kids' allergies were worse than mine, but when my daughter allergist explained a few things to me, he said when we're giving her the shots, we're actually putting the things in her here that we feel that she's allergic to. And one of the things they also suggest is that we eat honey that's made right here in the area, because that has the things that's out there that that triggers you. So if you get it in your system, your body gets used to it, then you'll no longer be allergic to it. Is kind of what they said.
I see. I think that we're really fortunate that we got something that's so broadly applicable that even if you come up with a new allergy, you got the same solution. You know that allergy is going to trigger an immune response. It's going to lead to inflammation. And it contains ingredients that are designed to allow your body, or give your body the nutritional support that it needs to have a healthier response to it. If you don't have all these extra reactions and whatnot, you can actually avoid it. And so it's just a lot less happen. Keep this up around, keep the rejuvenate. When we come back, I was very going to talk about that, and a lot of skin conditions that can have an inflammatory component. You brought me a person today, Stephanie, who's Sal has eczema, was it?
Yeah, Ron Bivens, he's running for constable. And so actually we were meeting so he could get the Rejuvenate, because he has, like he said, he had a discoloration where he has, the dark spots from here all the way up to here. And when I asked him on last Thursday when we were at a mixer, what caused that, and he said he didn't know. He's had it for, as long as he can remember, but he doesn't know what caused that. So he got the Rejuvenate to put on there to, try to take that discoloration away. But in the meantime, he was asking about if it helped with eczema, because, kids and grandkids suffer with that. And so he wanted something for that. And I shared with him, my son has eczema and my grandson has eczema, and they use it on there, and they've had some success from that. So he was excited.
All right. So we're going to talk a bit more about Rejuvenate on various skin conditions and how you can use it on your skin in combination with the oil. That's an interesting thing, how you can use the oil in drops. Oil comes in a small container, comes designed for, like a peptide. And we found that even drops under your tongue, or also combining it with Rejuvenate, and have a really beneficial effect on that after the next break. So anyway, if you got allergy questions, if you got an allergy experience, once again, you can do stop by. We'll recognize you and talk about it. We'll spend a few more minutes on that, and then we'll have to come back, and then we'll be done for today.
Okay, Roger, we're going to go ahead and go to break. So, guys, while we're on break, remember, if you're on Facebook, you will hear silence until we return, but we will be returning. So go ahead and take this opportunity to freshen up your drinks and your snacks and everything, and then we'll be back from break shortly. See you in a few.
One.
Welcome back to the Wealth of Health Show with Stephanie and Roger. We hope that you had a chance to get your snacks and refreshing your drinks and everything. And now you're ready to tune back into us speaking about allergies. You know, these things that really can tear our bodies up. I know it really affects me in terrible ways when mine flare up. But anyway, that was today's show. We've been talking about allergies and how you can help to overcome allergies or, you know, keep them under control. So Mr. Roger Hill, I'm going to turn it back over to you. Roger is one of our co-founders. He's the second host of the show, and I'm one of your hosts, Stephanie Alford. I didn't mention that earlier, but we both host the show together. So Mr. Hill, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
You know, we were talking about allergies as pertains to how our products can help them address it. So you're on the line with me now, and you were just asking me a question. Could you please ask that question again?
Sure. I was wondering the oil products.
Yes.
I was just wondering, like, how much would be a good maintenance dose for an adult human being?
Okay, that's a great question. When you look at that bottle, it gives you by weight, and so if you scale that up to a person's size, then you might be talking about a teaspoon twice a day or something like that. But here's what we learn. It's so personal to the individual. We've got some people that are on different medications and stuff, and we got a lot of issues with them. And because they have light body weight, they might just do a teaspoon every other day or something like that. So we have that version. And then we also have people who are putting drops under their tongue. And to me, amazingly, getting a good result that way. When I started taking them, I started using like a drop or four, then I'm 250 pounds, so that's kind of like very little for me. And then trying to do all this athletic stuff, doing a lot of cycling and whatnot, mile after mile after mile. So I increased my dosage, and as I increased, or maybe I was on it long enough, my leg strength was so noticeable. Standing up out of a chair or sitting up out of the car when he's getting, lower than he normally sits. It was just so obvious that I was like way stronger. And I don't notice it now. But so get used to it. But I've now gone back to whenever I do it, I put the drops on my tongue. And you have people do that who have upper respiratory stuff going on, like maybe a whole terrible breath or some congestion where they can still shake. And it was addressed with the drops under the tongue. So my answer is experiment. Try it with a drop. Just work with it until you find, what will work for you.
All right, that sounds good.
All right. So another thing I mentioned on the other side of the bridge I was going to talk about is how you can combine this. Now, interestingly, the oils were designed to be an internally taken. And the rejuvenate a topical. They're supposed to be doing the same thing. One for the inside out the oil, rejuvenate from the outside in. That's just getting a topical. But keep in mind, if you take the oils and put them on your skin first, and then you put rejuvenate on top of it, rejuvenate will have to drive it in because it penetrates. It's designed to penetrate and take nutrition into your cells through your skin. So that's another way that you can take it. You got the really powerful inflammatory benefit of the nutrients in the oils combined with the anti-inflammatory ingredients in the rejuvenate. You've got aloe vera in there and a number of those things you clean up with. So when they're combined with this XDF technology and they formulate it so that it has a penetrating ability, boy, it's wonderful. And it doesn't smell like dengue either.
Right.
It's got such a really, really good smell to it. So that's something that you can do. You can put them like around your face. Be careful with the rejuvenate. I try to keep that rejuvenate out of my eye, so you don't put it in your eye. Okay? But people would put it in their mouth. Okay, we didn't know it worked that way. It does. And so you got a wide range of ways that you can experiment with it and try to use it. We have somebody said they have these little bumps, like about 10 situations now. Behind this, and put the rejuvenate on it, and to address it. People with earache, they put some on your finger, put it around your ear, like this thing in your ear, and it kind of goes away. So a lot of versatility there, a lot of different things you can do, and hopefully you're just on the side anyway. You set your mind to take the form so that you're getting the clarity, you're getting the restful sleep. Oh, you just got amazing sleep with it. So let me come back to you for a moment on that sleep issue. Did you tell me that you slept better once you got on these products?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Your sleep when you were on mine before.
Yeah, it was about 7 days into taking it, and what I realized, because I had been for years with raising kids a very light sleeper, and just continued with that. And so about 7 days on taking the Mind and the Perform, I realized I was sleeping very, very deeply for the first time in a long time.
So that's an interesting concept. I actually started studying sleep, and I got this smartwatch to tell me how long I sleep and what my heart rate was and all of that. And I realized that I wasn't getting enough sleep. I'm like breast broken and all of that. And you got to be getting 6 hours or more sleep. Your body doesn't have the time to go through all the sleep process. You've got multiple stages of sleep. You need to make it through all of them so that you're really healthy. And this is not just related to allergies, it's related to everything. Because the lack of sleep, your body is never functioning the way it was. Now, once you got on the oxygen, you started sleeping deeper, what did you notice about yourself right away? You may have gotten used to it now, but it's been on the body a long time. But can you think back to when you first started getting that really deep, restful sleep, and what things, what happened before that happened, how did it change?
Well, before that, I just was always tired, and I had, some other things, like my vision was clearing up, and I had like some brain fog that was clearing up and stuff like that. So there were a lot of things changing all at about the same time. I don't know how much of it was due to the sleeping better, but I do know that I would wake up in the morning realizing that I had slept deeply. So it wasn't even, it just, before it was like even being agitated in my sleep. And after being on the product for about a week, my body was literally just really relaxing into sleep. So the quality of it was so much better as well.
Yeah, I find that really remarkable, because I think I'm wondering if it doesn't have to do with your brain weight, because I speak with weight. So much so that if I turn those radios on during the day, sometimes it's making me sleep and I got to turn it off. But anything that helps synchronize your brain, and I think that it really helps in that regard. That restful sleep, you know how important that is. There's so many diseases and conditions that people have that they would have had if they just got better sleep.
Yeah. Years ago, I talked to a behavioral doctor at one point, and she actually made the comment that people can go psychotic from not having enough sleep. Yeah. It's something that really affects your body, and it's a high priority.
Absolutely.
Now that's important.
All right, so we got about 15 more minutes. Thank you, Thank you, Kelly.
Oh, thank you, Roger.
We got about 15 minutes. I want to leave a little bit of time at the end, so that if you can tell people we're going to a new format a little bit. But actually, we'll do that. We'll do that part on Thursday and Saturday on our regular meeting at work. But what I want to talk about now is how you can use the information you've got today to help get the message out and grow your team. Or if you're just interested in using our product, you can have the product become more less expensive for you, more affordable, be able to purchase more of it. And we created a mobile marketing system. I'm going to talk about this on our Saturday training. At Saturday training, we're going to get back into the basics and go through how you use our mobile marketing system. There are lots of videos that we have. Everybody should know how to use those. Everyone should be sending them out because people can use them. Sending them to use them to really understand how what we've got works and whatnot, how really, really good it is and whatnot. That's what I recommend. I'll make this available. If you will send me a text, 301-526-0600. I'll say that again really slowly, like I encourage Stephanie to do. 301-526-0600. I edit these in a little bit, take out the breaks and all of that, and give you real clear reports. So as soon as I get that cleaned up, you'll send me a text. I will send you this recording of tonight's presentation and whatnot. But anyway, notice people who have allergies. Notice people and be prepared to let them know that we've got something that might be able to help them. Okay? And you need to, I guess some text is coming in right now. Great, thank you. You need to be prepared. And that's why we designed this mobile marketing system. Because if you've got their phone number already, you can text the video to them. And this is much better. I'll talk about this more on Saturday. This is much better than saying go to my website. So my question back to you is, for what? Where you get lost? You told them about a specific thing, all this stuff on the website, all these pages that will go on the website, You can do so much better if you just send them a specific video. Okay? Really focus there. And that's your website too. It gives you a link to it. Now, let me give you another thing. Now, I'm out here, last 50 perspectives. She's a lady, fellow traveler, business lady, and she was struggling. And at that time I was too. I had a full muscle or something in my back that was really, really painful. I could tell this lady was having struggle with something. I'd love to help her with her running breath. Probably to hurt me anymore. Somebody else get out happy about that. But because I saw that situation, like you could see someone who looks like they may have an allergy issue or sniffle or itch or whatever the case may be, right? You can use that mobile marketing system the way I use it. And there's two parts to it. You got there's three recordings. The first 10 minutes, it starts at 0. You go to our wall, as you call it, startmeeting.com. startmeeting.com/wall, W-A-L-L, /box, two F's. That's startmeeting.com/wall/box, with two F's. You go there, you're going to find some in the resources section. So if you're looking at it on your phone, you saw that little line, you call it the hamburger menu, and you can see something that says resources. And what I'm talking about is the list is there. You look at it on the internet, you scroll down, you see again the resources section has documents and recordings. And the one that starts with 0 gives you an overview for the mobile marketing system. And then there we explain you got the power in your hand, it's on your phone. And you can download our app if you've got an Android or an iPhone. Either one, you go to the Play Store, you got an Android, you go to the App Store, you got an iPhone. Put this app on your phone, it's going to ask you 2 questions. It's going to ask you how much money would you like to make and how much, that's a great measure of how you're helping people, by the way. And then going to ask you, how much time do you think you'll be able to put in for adults? The answer to that, and it's going to ask, of course, for your username. The username it's asking you for is the same username that you log into your site, your back office. Okay? So mine is Roger. My username is Roger, and that's what I'm putting in. You put in whatever yours is. Okay? That doesn't give you access to the app. So that 10-minute recording, that 10-minute overview recording, that very first one is about 0, tells you all about that. Just can't miss it. And then the one that starts with 1 is the one that explains how you get it on your phone. And there's a lot behind that because when you send the videos out, an icon's going to appear on there when people are watching that video. That's a great time for you to follow up on this. Or if you're not confident in your ability to follow up with this, give them your upline or your accountability partner, whoever that person is going to help you do this follow-up. They go back to the person and see if you can't get them involved. I was talking to Ken the other day from Guadalupe. His daughter was referring to he's participating in the study. And we were talking to him. We could have gotten him into the middle of afternoon. This was a particular way to do it. And we were talking about how mine performs. You know, we were talking about allergies now. That conversation was about blood sugar regulation. And because we were able to do that and give them that information, they're like, well, I want to buy that now. Okay, great, wonderful. So that's the kind of experience that you're going to have. Okay, and you can start getting people involved. If you sign up with us as a returning customer, you're going to start getting podcast. Those are product purchase credits that you can use when you go to buy your product and reduce the cost of it. Some of you are going to get so good at that that you don't want to upgrade and become a paid representative. That way you can take money out of the system and do whatever you want, and you specify when you want to take it out, you know, and you can instantly use it to purchase products. So if you were to take that out, send out those things, or otherwise contact with folks who are interested and they made a purchase, those credits for you, those podcast credits are going to show up in real time, and you can immediately turn around and use them. Once you've upgraded to be a paid representative, and you know we're no pay to play, right? It's a cost you and you upgrade to become a paid representative. Once you do that, if you want to take money out of the system, if it's a 5-day delay, you know, when a commission shows up instantly, again, you can use the product, and 5 days later, it's available for you to tweak. You can get a box debit card, or you can request it to be ACH to you. Either way, we set you up with an e-wallet and whatnot, and you manage it once you get out of it. Great way to do it, and great way to get folks involved. You can take a click. And by the way, when we're talking about the podcast, if you're referring people and people purchasing products, you're accumulating that podcast. You can also transfer your podcast to other people. We've done that. We've had some people that we wanted to help. One gentleman had a particular issue. We thought the product would help her. So some of us contributed some of our podcasts to him. And all you do is you'll pay on in the video, you can go down there and transfer. And that's in your back office. That part's in your back office. And you can transfer the podcast to any other representative in your downline or outside of your downline. You can transfer podcast. Okay. That's my mobile marketing system. Second part of that mobile marketing system is designed for you to be able to capture people's information that you don't already have in your phone as a contact. And that's called an SMS request info system. And that's on the video that starts with number 6. So 0 is always 1. Explain how you get the app down on your phone, you use it, it goes all about all the info is going to show you your back office, all of that. The SMS request info system was designed so that if you meet people randomly, you could have a way to get information to them. And we started this with Michael Burnett, other co-founder and I were traveling. We were trying to go on a train car. We had all these people in the car with us. We managed to stumble into a conversation about pets. And before we were done, everybody in the car was reaching over each other trying to get our business started. But we really didn't have a good way to follow up on those people. So here is the SMS Facebook system. Here's how it works. When you sign up with us, in your back office on the info, if you go under in your back office, the 21st one, everybody gets it. They're referring to whatever. You automatically get the SMS code. And that code is 2 letters and a number. Stephanie Alford is SF2. But she was the second person apparently at the initial step. Now, there's 2 phone numbers that go with this for this video, permanent video to explain to you. One is for the consumer product, is the non-performing rejuvenate gel. The other is going to be for all the oil for silk and pesticides. The pesticides are really oil and fish. So when you're talking to a person and if the interest seems to be about one of the human products, you can give them this number and your code. You say, text my initials. Text my initials, I already respond to this number. Give that number. And when they send that text, the very bottom of their screen on their phone is a form that says, you can get the information that you requested from Roger Hill, and say, that's how big I know I am the person that's supposed to do that. You ask me what their name, right? And we already got their phone number, so they can have text them, put their text in there, and their email address, okay? You don't have to put the email address in the file, so we'll be able to respond to the text and things. You already have that, right? So now, when I'm going to send that in, you're going to stick them back a link to your site. We've got a special site that we send you to. That's the associated with that to get that as well. Well, you got a site, and if you get.com, you got another site to get them with magic. Access it. All right. So now, the second information is, they keep that information back. That's great, by the way, if you're doing an engagement, or at least, or maybe you're speaking somewhere, everybody just checks this number, this right here, you quickly get that out. And again, that information that they're filling in, their name, their social security number, capture their phone, okay. It's all shown in your back office. So that 10 minutes, that first 10-minute report is one that's talking to. It's going to show you all of that is so easy to do. Tell you where to find your SMS code in your back office, give you examples, etc. That's 30 minutes or 10 minutes each one of those, and you're really registered to let people know what's going on with all of our products on that. Just get in a position you can really benefit from. So Stephanie, we're down to about 2 minutes of time. You turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. Well, you guys, we said the time has come for us to wrap up the show. We want to thank all of our guests that took their time out to join us and share their experiences with us. For information on people, nutritional information, like Mr. Hill was just sharing, we have our codes. If you'll text SA2 to 715-600-0905, again, for people, nutritional information. If you'll text SA2 to 715-600-0905 for pet health information. If you'll text SA2 to 715-600-0242, again, that's for pet health information. If you'll text SA2 to 715-600-0242, the information will be sent out to you. Remember, if you would like to get your free website so that you can order your products, if you'll go to www.foxlegacy.com/salford, again, that's FOXXLEGACY.com/SALFORD, or if someone else referred you, if you'll get back to the person that referred you. But once you go on the site of whether it's mine or whoever referred you, You make sure you click join and click referred customer, and then you'll put in your name, your email, your address, the username you want, and the password that you want, and your site's up just like that. So let me be the first one to welcome you to your free Foxwell Legacy website, and it's available for you to order whenever you want to. You have no quotas or anything. It's just there for you to order whenever you need products. Again, we want to thank our listeners for joining us, and our future listeners that may watch this, when we're not live. We want to thank all the companies that have provided any of the giveaways that we've given away on our show. If you want reminders of our show, if you'll text WOHS along with your name to 817-320-2571. Again, if you'll text WOHS along with your name to 817-320-2571, then we'll get you on the list to remind you of our shows. And again, thank you for joining us, and may God bless you and make you wealthy and healthy. Good night.